check. Okay, my G.
Yeah.
We are live. We are
We're live.
live and
Good.
online. What's good, bro? It's been an absolute minute since we've done one of these live ones, these live
Word.
games after a
Word. It
long night of
has.
NBA action.
It has, bro. It's been a real minute. Happy New Year to the people tuning in. Shit. I mean, we
Indeed.
probably haven't been a chance to chop with the people in a minute, but tonight was a good slate of games, bro. It's a
It
good
is. It
slate of
is.
games.
It is. Welcome into a live edition of Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford. So much has happened in the NBA, particularly on this Wednesday. Buzzer beaters in Brooklyn, a buzzer beater descended to overtime in OKC, buzzer beater or not in Portland. We had a matchup between Luka Doncic and Victor Wembanyama, which is part of the reason why I said, Danny, we should do live tonight because two of Danny's former teams went head to head. Oh, and of course, an all-star guard by the name of Trae Young has officially been traded. Trae Young to the Washington Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. No picks, no pick swaps, no money, just straight up Trae Young for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. What's good, DG?
Yeah.
How did you feel? How did you feel about that move?
I mean, first, when they talk about his trade destinations, it was like, what the hell? Like, why the hell? Most people are like, why the hell would you go there? And it's like, oh, okay, they have cap space. You know what I'm saying? You want to get the extension, they got the money, and it could still be your team. Most people are like, does he care about winning at all? It's like, maybe the teams that winning didn't want him. That's also a surprise to me. Like, why isn't more teams on the phone call? I was more shocked at how fast this should happen than the fact that it happened. Like, we were just talking about it like earlier today or last night that they're talking about, oh, they're gonna try to find a way to get him moved amicably. And next day, boom. And again, straight up for players, no picks and no other teams really involved or trying to get Trae. It's like this guy is a unbelievable talent, 25 and 10 career, number player, and this is all that they got in return for him. And no disrespect to CJ and Kispert, but man, like we remember when Rudy Gobert got like 5 players and 5 picks. And I know
Flipping
he's a
Wade,
smaller
brother.
guard, but Desmond Bain got five picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's guys that get like, but I guess the fact that Atlanta's winning without him, and that they're moving on, and there's rumors that nobody wanted to play with him, like that really hurt his stock and his value. But this is definitely not enough for Trae Young. Like, this is crazy to me. So I'm shocked at how fast it happened, how little in return Atlanta was okay with receiving. They should have still got some draft capital or some youth. Um, Alongside CJ and Kispert, but they were just like, oh, they just pretty much handed them over. Like, here you go, have them, which is nuts to me. That's crazy. 8 years, franchise player that done some unbelievable things there. You guys should have got more in return.
Yeah, I want to talk about how the league might view Trae Young in general, but I want to get your insight on Trae Young just in general because I have vivid memories of Trae Young being so difficult for
Annoying as
you
hell.
guys to, for you guys to stop when you were playing with the 76ers. Obviously, they ended up winning that series and going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Ben Simmons, you know, deserves part of the blame for what happened, but still, you got to give you a lot of credit to Trae Young. Can you tell me what it was like in the locker room? What was Nick Nurse saying? What were other players saying as it pertains to trying to stop Trae Young in the playoffs? Because I do feel like this. Say what you want about Trae Young, regular season, his team
Mhm.
performed better when he wasn't there. When it comes to the playoffs, that dude is scary. And there's
Yeah,
not a lot of people that you
did it
are
to the Knicks in
actually
the Garden. He did it to a lot
there's
of people, bro.
there's not a lot of people in the NBA, and I know a lot of people say there's a lot of talent at the point guard position in the NBA right now, and I agree. It's a loaded position. There's not a lot of teams looking for a point guard, but there are a lot of teams that are looking for playoff killers, and I would
Hmm.
classify Trae Young as a playoff killer. That's just me. I'm asking you because you were in the trenches. What was
Yeah.
being said when you were with the Sixers and you guys went to that Eastern Conference Semis?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into check your mic pause before when I get into this answer. I don't think you're coming through clear on the
Okay.
mic or enough. But yes, going into this
Change it up.
and in the moment as a player, you got a lot of pride because I'm still thinking, and I felt like that time I could still guard, top guys, and I felt like I was capable. Trae was so quick and hard to guard, and he's so crafty and drawing fouls and stopping and jumping backwards. They were doing this double pick, for him, where we weren't switching it at first, and it's me trying to get or beat him to the screen, and it's like 2-on-1 Joel and him, me, him, Joel, like playing the pick and roll. And then eventually we started switching it, jumping out and kind of keeping him to the left. But it wasn't the fact that he wasn't just killing us. He was killing us also with scoring and getting to the paint, also against the free throw line because he's just a pain in the ass and crafty. But he's also distributed. Bogey killed us. So they were like, we got to find a way to stop one of these guys. And Ben was a great on-ball defender. Off the ball, not as good. They were like, you know what? Instead of him guarding Bogey, because Bogey was so good at moving off the ball and getting threes, we're going to have him guard Trae and put you on Bogey so you can, kind of limit Bogey as much. And also, we'll switch it, too. Instead of Ben just guarding him, we'll have the other guy on the pick and roll switch out and try to corral him and not let him get to that right hand. Once he gets that right hand, he's too dangerous. But also, John Collins was another, like, he was killing.
John Collins was killing in that series.
Bro, hitting threes, put back dunks, lob dunks, wearing shirts of Joel while he's dunking on him, and this like just disrespectful type of. But Ben played well to the end, and even Tyrese when he got in played well. But trying to guard Trae, man, was a pain in the ass because not only is he could shoot the ball from three, he's crafty, he's quick as hell. Even in my prime, to guard a young, small, quick guard like that is not easy. Getting to that right hand, coming off those two picks like that, with Capella setting it. Capella also had a hell of a series, and Collins setting the screens. It's not easy to guard. And the fact that he knows how to stop on a dime, jump backwards, jump sideways, and they try to change those rules because of him. But he's still crafty at getting those fouls. And he can shoot the floater and distribute, find the guy in the corner, and find lobs to Capella and whoever, and John Collins. You get him a lob threat, he's dangerous. And he even did that in the next series against Milwaukee. Like, he threw it off the backboard to John Collins. Like, they was just having a hell of a run, even though we were up 2-1 in the series and up 20 points in both those games after that, to go up 3-1 if we wanted to, or up 3-2, and we smoked them. They just had a really good series, and it started with him. You got to take your hat off to him because he's done it time and time again. Ice Trae, he's got, in his veins, bro. He's got, he's got clutch type DNA, and he's done it in the Garden. He's done it in our arena. He's done it in a lot of places, and you see him do his little show, like, because he hits big time shots, bro. And you got to give him a lot of. This is why, again, I'm so disappointed and so shocked that why are you not getting more value for this guy? Like, what have you done for me lately? League is kind of crazy, and how quickly people forget how good you are because he hasn't played a lot this season. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo,
yeah,
this guy is still a bona fide killer. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame the Hawks for saying, you know what, and maybe this was a decision, not just the Hawks, but probably Trae Young and his representation, basically saying, the Hawks saying, we're not going to give you a max. And then Trae Young says, well, listen, I want a max. I feel like I'm qualified to get a max. And then therefore you move on. I think to your point, you could have played it out a little bit longer and let Trae Young's talents really shine. And yes, I know it's hard because Jalen Johnson's playing at a high level, Nickeil Walker-Alexander's playing at a high level. So you don't necessarily want to mess that up. And when Trae Young was coming into the lineup, they weren't playing well. But there's a lot of teams in this NBA this season that haven't been playing well because they just haven't had enough time to mesh. If you would have given, especially in the East, I would have given him some more time and he would have looked a lot better.
Question is, how much time do you have with the trade deadline? There's only like a month left in the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying?
That's part of the issue for sure. But again, I do agree it's hard to build a team around a guard that you feel can be targeted like that. At the same time, it's hard to win playoff games when you don't have a closer. And I look at that roster right now. They have a lot of good players. They don't have a closer. Is a closer worth a max contract?
Yeah, again, I mean, CJ,
not. It's
bringing
tough.
CJ, he's somewhat of a closer. He's a little older now, but he's somewhat of a closer. But again, you're not winning this year, so what's the rush, right? There's no rush and letting Trae go right away. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they could have probably waited till the summertime, maybe, right? You're not expecting to win this year.
Well, there are some reports that the Hawks are now interested and have the ability now to get Anthony Davis. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. So we'll see. I want to talk about that in a moment. I want to stay focused on Trae Young, and I want to relate it to your NBA experience. So here's the thing. A lot of people said Trae Young going to the Wizards. Like, why would he do that? And then obviously the common knowledge is the Wizards more than likely are going to be willing to give him a contract extension so he can get the dollars that he wants. And we had this conversation with a mutual friend of ours in LA, Danny, back in the day. And I want you to be honest.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard for you because you've won 3 NBA titles. I want your opinion. And I want probably what that common NBA player thinks. What is more valuable? A max contract or an NBA title?
Oh, well, it depends on the differentiation between the contract you're getting for going to win an NBA title. How much money are you giving up?
I'm saying, and so in Trae Young's situation, and I'm not saying the Hawks were going to win an NBA title, but remember what our mutual friend said. He said NBA players feel like getting a max contract is just like winning an NBA title, if not better, because you're getting celebrated financially as one of the best in the game. So
I can't disagree with that. I mean, again, I don't give up my championships and I don't regret it, and I was never in line for a max contract, but I was known to take a cut, but it wasn't like a huge cut. Even when I went to LA, it wasn't a cut. I got the contract that I wanted. Only time I took a cut was to come back to San Antonio, but we already had won at that point, and I thought we could win again. So I took a favorable deal to stay in San Antonio. And not just because of that, but also love playing with Timmy, Tony, and Manu. Mostly, Timmy was the guy that kind of encouraged me to stay. And it definitely wasn't Pop. And I love Pop. I love him to death. He's like a grandpa, but playing for him was not easy. Very hard man to play for. So if I was to say max contract to Danny Green's $10 million a year type of deal, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going with the max contract. Like, I'm saying, like this, it doesn't make sense. Rings are great, championships are great, but generational wealth and money that you can only make at this time, that you won't be able to make back, you're passing up on, that's like hundreds of millions of dollars. That's a big difference. Even if it was like $50-60 million difference, like most people are taking that. Now, if it's like a $5 to $10 million difference, you know what? I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? 20 is like teetering the line. Once you get above $20 million separation, bro, and that sounds crazy coming from me because I am a champion. It sounds like I should be biased toward winning championships. And yes, winning does matter. But I think what you can do for your family, what you can be celebrated as an individual as one of the top in the game and create generational wealth for your kids, like, because even though it's not guaranteed that, even after taxes a lot, but there's no guarantee that with the other contract that you're able to keep it all forever, or it'll last your kids a lifetime. Depends on how you invest it. And we've seen videos of Odell Beckham Jr. talking about $100 million is not really $100 million. It can go fast, even though it's still $100 million. But after taxes, you get to about 60, and then you spend some. You should be able to invest and be okay. But again, that's money that can take care of you and your kids. But your kids, like, I don't know if that's something to stretch unless you have some kids that know how to invest and do the right things and get a job. But $200 million contract, $300 million, like if you can make $500 million in your career, which is today's NBA's, like those max contracts, if you did multiple max contracts, you can make $400 to $500 million in the NBA today. You can't pass up on that and say, oh yeah, I won a championship, so I'll take the 100 or 200. Mind you, that's good money, and it's more than enough.
For sure.
But pass up on that type of money, extra $100 million is kind of crazy. You can't do that.
So if we were to rank winners and losers in this transaction, Hawks, Trae Young, Wizards, it sounds like you would label Trae Young as the biggest winner, even though he's going to the worst team. The team that one of the teams that, frankly, a lot of people just don't care about.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, Hawks, I think, are the losers because they definitely didn't get enough for him. Trae is definitely the number one winner. I feel like the Wizards are behind Trae because I think he can also help turn around your group. Like, you have a young group there, and he can help make DC more cared about city. He could make that team a lot better than what it is. But they have the cap space. He wasn't going to go anywhere to a winning team where they're going to be able to even pay him his average salary of his past contract, let alone more. Like this team could pay him at least his average salary of 40, 45 million, if not more. He can get 50 million for the next 4 years. So he would have to take a pay cut and a lesser of a role to be in a city that didn't seem like a lot of suitors were coming to the table, probably in a city that he didn't care to be in. So you're going to end up in a city you didn't care to be in anyway. So you might as well get paid to do it. That's what it sounded like to me. And that's the options that he probably weighed with his agent and was like, you know what, this will be still your team. You can play your style of play here, help these young groups turn around, make DC popping, and you'll get your max dollars while you're still in your young years. Now, when he's older, so be it. Go find a winning team. But right now, he's still 27, 28. You still got 5 more years in your prime, brother. Take the 4 or 5 years, and then after that, then you can go, all right, let me go take a less of a role somewhere else and then try to win. So he's got plenty of time to kind of get it on the back end.
Yeah, well, to label the Hawks as losers might be a bit premature because, as it was alluded to, the trading deadline is still weeks away.
Yeah.
And
they can still get some other pieces. But if this is as it stands right now, if this is set in stone and that's all you got for Trae, it's still losing to me because you didn't get what you could, because those other pieces could be used for other value or other trade or even for future, like in the draft. You could have got some capital in some type of draft class. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you're not big losers, but you're losing as of right now. It's kind of like the Derek Queen situation. Yeah, they look terrible before. It still doesn't look like a great.
Still don't look good, Danny. Don't.
But if he becomes a good player and becomes whoever they pick they get might not pan out to be anything. We don't know what that pick is anyway. But that might not be a good pick. But he's making the pick look better as he plays. It's like, all right, this kid was valuable and he's looking better. So yes, right now they're still losing. It could look better if they move it, but as it stands right now, they're losing. That's a loss and a trade from a guy that should have gotten at least 3 picks from with alongside players.
I understand. I see what you're saying. And before we move on to other things in the NBA, I also wanted to pick your brain on this because part of the reason why Trae Young is getting traded, not just the emergence of Jalen Johnson, but it does feel as if Trae Young defensively can get picked on. But there are players in the NBA that can get picked on every single. There's always a weak link.
There's
on
not
every
a lot of
roster.
defense in the NBA today anyway. That's what I was telling somebody. Like, oh, what about defense? Nobody's playing defense anyway. Like,
well, for sure. But you got, but he's a target. He has somebody that you would target your offense through. But I feel as if that it was almost blown up in his case because again, there's so many. I could look at every roster, I could look at every starting lineup, and I could say outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I could say
there's at least one or 2 targets,
or the Houston Rockets, but they're almost on every other roster. I'm like, no, offense is probably going to target him. It's probably going to all start with him. I think in general, though, but when you really look at it, Danny, and this is where I get a little bit scared about the Knicks. Point of attack defense is probably more crucial than maybe rim protection or somebody who can guard a wing. The fact that Trae Young is at the point of attack, he's not rebounding the ball. He's at the point of attack most of the time. It just feels as if they were never going to be able to have sustained stops on the defensive side of the ball when it really mattered, as great as he is offensively. And so at the end of the day, you just can't give him a max contract. Would you? Hold on.
I get it. He's a smaller guard. He's a smaller guard. So yes, he's not. If he was 6'8" like Luka, you could make up for some things. You could rebound a little. You know what I'm saying? Like, so because he's small, it definitely at a disadvantage. So I get it. But continue. Would I do what now?
And you're not a hater if you say you won't. Would you give Trae Young a max contract?
There's a lot of guys that I would not give a max contract to. And that's on the trade. Like if you're, and I know this is coming because I'm a player, I'm supposed to side with the players, but if you're not available like that, it's hard for me to give you a max contract. Not only that because he's smaller on the defensive side, Only way I'm giving a max contract if I have the money and I have to spend it. But if I want to win,
just like the Wizards.
Yes. But if I want to win and he's on a winning group, I'm not spending all my money. No, and I'm spacing some of that money out. Mind you, not only said he's also had some injuries. He's shown some unavailability throughout some parts of his career. So yeah, again, like Porzingis, the reason why people thought, oh, when he signed an extension with Boston for 2 years, 60, like, oh, that's a steal. It's because he's not available and he didn't deserve. But he's talented enough to be a max contract. AD is looking for a new year, an extension for 4 years, max deal. Would you give it to him? Like, he's my guy. I think he's very special. And I think he's that type of talent. But if you're not able to be available, it's hard for me to argue that you deserve a max contract.
Especially in this double apron era where it could be so punitive to make that type of deal. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I feel as if we're not done with the Atlanta Hawks. They got some other things that they should be doing. I find if they move on to AD, I don't feel like that's the right move. AD is not on Jalen Johnson's timeline. AD,
no, but he's better. He's a better, more available than Porzingis. Now, if it's a straight up Porzingis for AD, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but Dallas is not doing. But Dallas is not doing that. They're gonna say, give me Risa Shea, give me Risa Shea and Porzingis,
and New Orleans.
And I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
But I mean, they seem like Atlanta's moved off of Risa Shea as well. Like, so if it's a Risa Shea, Porzingis, I'm okay with that. But if you have to give up picks and like top, picks for him, I don't know if I would do that.
I think one of the biggest mistakes that they could make, Danny, is just trying to fast forward this thing just because you got Jalen Johnson playing at this level. I think they still
take the time.
Take your time. It's okay.
That's why it's such a loss to not get draft capital in this trade. That's why it's such a loss. That is where you guys are supposed
from the Wizards of all people. And you imagine what the Wizards would be if you could have snuck one first round pick from the Wizards. One first round pick. Danny, or even just a pick swap. You know what I'm saying? Even just a pick swap. Okay, we're picking 15, y'all picking 5, we just swap at 10 spot. Even just a swap in 1 year.
They didn't They just handed him over, bro. They shit the bed. They messed that up,
bro. Even a second round pick from the Wizards might be pick 31 because they might be the first team picking in the second round. Yeah. No draft capital at all is wild to me. Wild to me. Again, that's what to your point. That's what happens when people forget what you've done for them lately, and you got this shiny new toy in Jalen Johnson who's playing at a high level, and you just.
Oh, they're gonna be reminded. They're gonna see Trae again. They're gonna see how well Trae plays. Like, he's gonna turn that group around. They're gonna be like, damn, we should have at least got 2 picks with him. Should have given him a second round for all I care. You should have got some picks.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see what the Wizards do. This puts them on the clock to kind of show something. If you're gonna get Trae Young, you might as well try and now be a good team. You might as well go out there and make some efforts to make something happen. Going to be interested to see how that all plays out. If you guys have any questions, I see some of you guys talking in the chat. So if you have any questions for DG, let me know. I'll make sure Danny gets to hear them before we get out of here. But again, Trae Young, now a member of the Washington Wizards after being traded from the Atlanta Hawks for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. Again, CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. No second round picks, no pick swaps, not even a cool $3 million. Like, okay, and cash. Not even cash, bro. What? That's nuts.
Who is handling this? You need to
not even a little bread. You know what I'm saying? Not even a little yapping. Nah.
Who is behind the wheel on this shit? Who is driving this train?
That's crazy. Anyways, let's continue to talk about what else is going on in the National Basketball Association. And before I even get to that, what happened with the Spurs and Lakers, I don't know what it is, Danny, but I've been watching I've been seeing a lot of things on my Twitter account, even though I haven't been tweeting as much recently. And a lot of people are talking about they're quitting sports betting. They're getting out of it for 2020, 26. They're like, it's rigged. They don't know what's going on. And I even myself, I had to take a step back and think about what the hell is going on right now, because there's a lot of weird results, a lot of unpredictable things are happening. And then I remembered.
And that Vegas knows it.
Yeah, for sure. And then I remembered, oh, yeah, this is that scary time in the season. It's not the beginning of the year where you're trying to impress anybody anymore. It's not the playoff push. You know what I'm saying? So, and the Christmas Day game hype is over. This
cup games,
and again, I can't wait for you to explain. This I feel is like when any night, any team can get knocked off, because it's so. These are like in baseball they call it the dog days of summer or whatever it is. These are the dog days. These are the dog days of the NBA season.
Right before All-Star, you kind of slack, and that, mind you, it only makes it worse because the cup games. Guys are playing extra games, so the teams that were in the cup finals or semifinals are taking a drop because now they're mentally, emotionally, and physically a little bit fatigued. So yeah, these are definitely the moments that rookies hit a wall, and teams mentally just like they kind of, I wouldn't say they just take a mental, like there's a lot of slippage around the league, man, and they take a mental break, and you can tell they're not as locked in or as focused. Like OKC was impressing me, which is how hungry they were. Come back from after winning a championship, 24-1, get to the semifinals, and then it's like, oh, now it's like, damn, they hit a little wall. Even Spurs, Knicks lost 4 in a row. Like, what's going on here? OKC in an overtime game with Utah, like holding on for dear life. Houston losing to Portland. Portland's beat a couple teams this year, including OKC, Lakers, Spurs. They beat a lot of top teams when they needed to, even Denver. So yeah, it's just one of those times a year, man, when a lot of teams just kind of hit that wall. And it's like right before All-Star break. It's like you got to finish off the first 3 quarters of the year, or first 3/5 of the year strong before the break, because you don't want to go into All-Star break on a low. But yeah, that's kind of happens sometimes. Unless you're a veteran, mature team, you're gonna have those dips, and this is the time of year where the teams have the dips.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting because you'll have some teams that started off poorly, trying to be like, okay, we're not as bad as we started. Like the Clippers have playing a lot better basketball. Low key, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching the Hornets recently. I don't know if it's because of Brandon Miller or if it's Con Knipple, LaMelo, like Miles Bridges plays hard. They're one of those teams. It's like, it might be the dog days of summer for a lot of teams, but for those, like for some other teams, they're actually trying to win games. You could tell it's evident from the moment you turn on the game. Okay, now let's get into it. Your 2 former teams played tonight, Spurs and Lakers. Luka Doncic, I think he finished with 35 tonight, triple-double, but no
38, 10, and 10.
38, 10, and 10. Luka does
and
what
missed
Luka
6 free
does.
throws.
and missed free throws, you're right. But end of the day, I don't think anybody expected them to pull it off going against the Spurs team, especially with the Spurs being at home. Wemby finished with 16 points. Was still playing on a minutes limit. And so it's interesting to see him still come off the bench. Obviously, still had the moments there.
It's a back-to-back for both groups. So yeah, back-to-back for both groups.
When you watch the game, and I know you did the Spectrum broadcast, what was your main takeaway? I'll start with the Lakers first.
I mean, it was not much to grade them with, man. They didn't have much to work with. You know what I'm saying? Both teams shot terribly from 3, but you're missing 60 points in your lineup with LeBron and AR being out. So like they just couldn't get that third person or second person to score. It's all Luka. They had 3 guys in double digits. Luka had 38. They only shot 22 free throws. He shot 16 of them. So they just had nobody really to attack. Gabe Vincent's first game back, so I didn't expect much from him. Jake LaRavia and Jax Hayes only the double-digit scorers. Like they needed somebody like Nick Smith Jr. to get like a 16-point night. Dalton Connect to give you like 20 in order to be in this game. It was an ugly game. Second half got better, but Spurs are just bigger bodies. They just out-rebounded them, like out-bullied them a little bit. Keldon Johnson had him a game. They shot 16% from 3. They just had, more possession. Well, not actually, they didn't shoot more possessions. It just looked like they just was more talented and they outlasted them. And Lakers didn't have enough offense to kind of stay with them, honestly.
When I was listening to the broadcast, when I watched the Lakers last night when they took on the Pelicans, there was a lot of discussion about DeAndre Ayton, making sure they get him the ball, keeping him active. And I think particularly when Austin Reeves comes back,
It's
I feel
going to
like that's
benefit him the most.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they have the best connection.
Because
with them two, that 2-man game, Austin and him have a really good pick and roll. I feel like he plays well with Austin. But it's just him. It's going to be nights where it's going to be up and down. But if you see him and Luka are starting to build somewhat of a connection, he had a good game the other night against New Orleans, but it is New Orleans where Luka found him some. But I feel like him and Austin, especially the games that Luka was out, Brown was out, like they had a really good connection going. And I would like to see how that progresses when he's back with everybody healthy. I don't know how it'll look, but I definitely noticed that they have a really good, 2-man game going with those two.
That's interesting because I was going to be on the opposite side. I was going to say what happens when Austin comes back, and now you have Austin, LeBron, and Luka. Does Ayton get phased out again? And when Ayton gets phased out, as you've played with multiple big men, when a big man gets phased out of the offense, you also end up losing their defense.
For sure, but you just play him more in the second unit. Like you mix Jackson Hayes, he can start, but then you just play him with that second unit with Austin. And like when Austin's handling the ball and Bron and Luka is sitting down, or just when Luka's sitting down, he'll have more opportunity and put Jackson Hayes with Luka more and have because he's more of a lob threat anyway. But yeah, you just mix him in with that Austin Reeves and Bron second unit work. He'll get his touches.
Let's move on to the Spurs now. This Wemby thing, man. I watched him with the Jackals after the game. I saw when they first started the trend. He's really reinvigorated that fan base, and I have high expectations for them going forward. I do wonder though, Danny, how is it all really going to fit? And I feel as I watch a team like the Nuggets tonight beat the Boston Celtics, I look at the Spurs and there's a lot of hype, but I'm like, they're not going to have the continuity that the Nuggets have, that the Thunder, even though they match up with the Thunder very well, that continuity means something. So as I watch Victor Wembanyama on minutes limit, Devin Vassell out, De'Aaron Fox, being aggressive sometimes, but then not being aggressive. I don't know if they honestly, and maybe this is the biggest issue. I finally got to it after rambling for a while. I don't know if they've established a pecking order. And I feel as if that might be a problem in the playoffs. Yes,
could be a blessing in disguise.
We know Victor's number one, but I feel like between Castle, Fox, and Keldon Johnson, who's very aggressive as a scorer, which that's a good thing. I feel like that couldn't that be a bad thing when you don't have a pecking order?
It could if you have egos, but with these guys, it don't seem like they have egos. They enjoy playing alongside each other. And again, one of the things that I pointed out tonight, they spoke on the broadcast, was in the last 9 games, the Spurs have had 9 different guys lead the team in scoring. You know what I'm saying? Like something crazy like that. It's either 6 or 9 games. The last 6 or 9 games, it's been LeBron or Luka. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, It's only 2 guys scoring. With the Spurs, it was like, one night it's Champagnie, one night it's Barnes, one night it's Cornette, it's Wemby, it's Fox, it's Castle, Keldon Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So like they are.
I'm looking this up. I'm looking this up right now.
Dude, they are capable of beating you a multitude of ways, which makes them unpredictable and harder to guard because any given night you don't know who's going to show up. But I don't think it hurts the pecking order. Those top guys are going to show up, but it gives your other guys confidence and empowers them to show up to help swing a playoff series, as a Draymond Green would say. Like a Champagnie come in and swing a playoff series because he hits 6-7 threes in a game. Like he could hit 2 or 3 games like that. Harrison Barnes, you're not expecting him to get you 20. He might get you a 20, 25-point game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Cornette, he'll get you a nice little double-double. Keldon Johnson might come off the bench and give you 25. You know what I'm saying? And 10. Like he's a double-double off the bench. So yeah, bro, I think that's a blessing in disguise. It may be for some teams, but with this group, they don't have egos, bro. They just hoop and ball out and enjoy, and they enjoy each other's success. Like again, I saw Champagnie being super aggressive from the start tonight. He was 3 for 11, but he had 11 threes against the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So, and he had 5 threes the other night. He's been on a tear. He played well, you know, last 5 games or so, and he's been starting with Vassell being out. So, rightfully so. Like, if a guy's hot, empower him. Like, I'm all for that, man. And that's to me Spurs basketball. We never had one, like obviously Tony, Timmy, and Manu, but even Manu and Timmy, they weren't like, oh, we need to score. Any given night, we had guys that can lead. Patty Mills could lead. Tiago, Boris, myself, Kawhi. Like, we had different nights. Gary Neal, Bellinelli. Like, those guys could be leading the team.
Yo, Bellinelli would come through. Bellinelli would come through and frustrate people. Like, yo, damn, he got 18 tonight. How?
Getting to the free throw line, getting fouls, getting that fake backdoor cut, fade. You know, getting the 2-ball, 3-ball. So, yeah, man, different nights for, you know, different guys. So I think that's a blessing to me more than it is a problem. So
6 different leading scores in their last 12 games, which is, and in terms of different leading scores, last 1, 2, 3, 4, last 5 games they've had a different leading score. And then before that was Wemby back-to-back 25 plus point games. Yeah, they're dangerous. Again, I'm curious to see, like, if they could just play 15 games with everybody out there, Wemby no minutes limit. Just let me see what that looks like. And maybe we won't get it till after the All-Star break. And I think
it sounds like they might not have the continuity. It's still early. They might get it, but again, Denver has, like, there's a lot of injuries. A lot of Lakers are out right now. OKC always has had injuries. They just won games with the injuries. Now they're showing they need everybody healthy because teams aren't scared and they're like going at them. But Denver has had Jokic out. Christian Brown just got back. Aaron Gordon's on minute restriction. You know, Jamal Murray, like, they had everybody out against Philly the other night. But, you know, Cam Johnson just got back. So they haven't had full roster all year like that either. So, but they're more experienced. So you give them more, like, you give them the advantage because they have veterans, so they'll be able to adapt sooner. But it still takes time. Like, all these groups we need to see all of them fully healthy, which we haven't been able to, like, have this season thus far.
Speaking of fully healthy, RJ Barrett back in action for the Toronto Raptors. He missed some time recently, but back, and tonight had a 26.7 rebounds. But the star of that game was Emmanuel Quickly hit a game-winning 3-pointer at the buzzer. This was after LaMelo Ball got to the basket and put them up almost at the end of regulation. But again, the Raptors end up getting the win. They are now 23-15 in the Eastern Conference. Another notable result: the Denver Nuggets go into Boston. Boston, who's been having a hell of a year. Joe Mazzulla has earned all of my respect. Doesn't matter. Denver Nuggets go into Boston. 22 points, 17 assists from Jamal Murray as they take down the Boston Celtics. That one stood out to me in the sense that I don't shade Boston for not winning that game. I think it's more credit now to the Denver Nuggets. Danny, they pulled off that win in Philadelphia without anybody, really. I mean,
they shot 45 from 3, bro. You got to give. They shot 45 from the hill, 45 from 3. You know, they beat, not say at their own game, but they just shot better from 3 from Boston, and that was the game because they both, Boston shot 45. They both shot 45 from the field. It's just that, you know, they have Aaron Gordon on minute restriction. He played well. Najee been playing well too, but Tim Hardaway, you got some guys back. Christian Brown, he didn't score well, but he's still playing 30 minutes. Watson had a 30 ball himself. Jamal Murray, Spencer Jones, he's been filling in for a couple minutes. So yeah, without Jokic, it looks like everybody except for Jokic and Valanciunas are back right now. But for them to find ways to win games without him you should give them a lot of credit right now.
I think, and I thought about this back with the whole Memphis Grizzlies and Ja Morant thing. Remember when Ja had to miss that year? And because Ja missed that year, Desmond Bane became a better playmaker. Hands down. If you watch Desmond Bane playmaking from when Ja was there
and
to now,
Tyus as well. Tyus stepped up and actually became like a valuable asset to not just himself, but the league and that group. Like, it made their second unit so much better.
If you watch Jaren Jackson now, because Ja Morant is gone, he's not dependent on Ja Morant's playmaking anymore to score the basketball. You can give him the ball and he can score. And I say that because Nikola Jokic is is seen as everything to this Denver Nuggets offense. And for them to go out there and win games while he's gone, I think that only makes him scarier, Danny.
Mhm.
Like, Jokic is probably sitting back like, oh,
We got this.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you got this? I could take
Gabe
this
Watson?
possession off in the future. Oh, watching you going off. Oh, picking you come off the bench and do this. It's a scary sight when Jokic realizes I don't even have to use my full powers for 48 minutes in the game.
I got a team now. Before he was Thanos, he held all the stones. Last year, it all relied on him. Now he's got some Avengers with him, which doesn't make sense because Thanos and Avengers didn't partner up. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. He's got a good little squad with him now, and again, like you said, he don't have to put the full pack. Like, he doesn't have to rely on him every possession. He has some bench. He can take some breaks. Last year, he couldn't get rest. He'd go on the bench for 2 minutes off the floor. It was like a big turn of events for his group. Now it's like, all right, we got Hardaway, we got Aaron Gordon, we got Valanciunas, even though he's out right now, but we got guys that can make some things happen while I'm on the bench. They can make runs while he's on the bench.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. I want to get to a discussion about the Eastern Conference, and I also want to hear your top 5 MVPs before we go, as we get a little bit closer to signing off. But I have a trivia question for you, Danny. Like on a night like tonight, almost every night now, I'm watching almost every game and I'm hearing almost every local broadcast. So I keep on getting all of these tidbits by watching all the games. Here's your trivia question for tonight. Who leads the NBA in and ones?
In and ones. Ooh.
Yeah.
I would.
You get 3 strikes.
I get 3 strikes.
Okay.
I want to say Luka is up there.
I'm not saying who's. I'm not asking you who's up there. I'm asking you who's leading.
Brunson.
Brunson is not leading the NBA in and ones. I'll give you, because you earned a strike, I'll give you a hint. It's in the Western Conference.
Oh, I was definitely thinking East.
I wonder if anybody in the chat could beat you without cheating.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking Luka, but it's definitely not Luka. I think that's too obvious an answer. I'm gonna just say Luka though, just cause.
Is that your final second choice?
That's my final second choice. Well, shit, it's got to be what? Is it SGA? No, it's got to be Luka.
Who
SGA
is leading the league
Steph Curry
and ones this season?
I'm gonna go Steph Curry.
No, 2 strikes.
Then my last answer is.
Do you want? I'll get that's 2 strikes. Do you want me to give you a hint before your last guess?
Nope, I don't want any more hints.
Okay.
I'm gonna go SGA.
No, not SGA, not Jalen Brunson, not Steph Curry. The NBA leader in and one scored 41 points tonight. Denny Advia of the Portland Trailblazers.
That's crazy. I would have never guessed that. Yeah, I would never guessed that.
How about that, Danny?
Yeah, he's balling, bro. He's definitely balling. All-star. He's been up all-star numbers. Can't deny him. And they've beaten some notable teams too. Like, he's killing, bro. He is killing.
I think Portland Trailblazers ended up getting a 103-102 win over the Houston Rockets. Good win for them. Houston Rockets, I'm not gonna poo-poo them losing. Again, it's kind of like the dog days. They didn't have Alperen Şengün. They almost won if Tari Eason's tip-in was literally 0.1 seconds earlier. It is what it is. It's the dog days of the NBA.
3 guys in double figures. 102, 103. It's a low-scoring game. That is a dog day.
I do want to say this, Danny, and before we get on to the more larger topics. This season, Denny Advia has saved the Trailblazers season.
Yeah.
Saved the Trailblazers season because there was all this hype coming in. They brought in Jrue Holiday. They could be a little bit more, and Dame Lillard is back, even though Dame wasn't going to play. Like, oh, Jrue Holiday's there. He could help. he can help Scoot Henderson. Dog, we haven't seen Scoot Henderson.
Jeremy Grant's
we haven't seen, homie.
We haven't seen a lot of people.
This year, Danny, was supposed to be about Scoot Henderson getting better, playing with Drew Holiday, listening from Damian Lillard, and getting coached by Chauncey Billups. Danny, think about that. Scoot Henderson was supposed to be playing with an NBA championship point guard and Drew Holiday, was supposed to be able to go talk in the locker room with a Hall of Fame point guard and Dame Lillard, and to be coached by a former Finals MVP point guard and Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
Man hasn't played a game.
Chauncey's Hall of Fame too, but
and okay, so that's the Scoot thing. And then obviously Chauncey, with him wrapped up in the gambling scandal, it's over. It's chopped. He's not coming back to coach the team. So if I'm a Trailblazers fan, I want to hug Denny Avdia, because without Denny Avdia, there's nothing positive about this Trailblazer season. What you were hoping for, you didn't get.
Yeah, if I'm
wanted to finish this. Oh yeah, for sure. You wanted to go in. You wanted to finish this season thinking, oh, we wanted to finish the season number one, probably fighting for the play-in. But number two, you wanted to finish the season thinking or having a confirmation that either Scoot Henderson is your point guard of the future, or it's not worth it. You don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's balling, bro. He's balling. Give that man his flowers. And I said it, like, you look at the numbers, those are like MVP numbers from like last 10 years, like 26, 7, and 7. It might be even more than that, honestly. But yeah, he was putting his numbers are crazy. Like, those were bronze numbers. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen Derrick Rose win MVP. We've seen Steve Nash. Like, his numbers are better than some MVP numbers, like years numbers in the past. So yeah, he's absolutely balling, bro. Pay that man his money. He's on a very favorable deal. He needs to get extended expeditiously.
we talked about it when we did our top 5 best contracts in the NBA, and I put him at number 1, even though he was the only person on that list that made over $10 million because per year, at least, because it goes down in value. So this year he's making 14.3, but next season he's making 13.1, and the season after that he's making 11.8. What? Let me say that again. This year, Denny Avdia is making
the craziest favorable deal in the league. That's the best deal in the league.
What?
By far.
Bruh, he's making $14.3 million this year. Next year, he's making 13.1. And in 27-28, Denny Avdia is making $11.8 million. That's absolutely ridiculous. Great job by the Trailblazers getting him from the Wizards and doing their thing, because he has literally, in my opinion, he has saved their season from what could have been, frankly, an embarrassment. Between Chauncey,
rightfully
and
so, it should have been.
Yeah, he has saved their season. He's 100% an all-star. No debate about it. No conversations needed. He's an all-star. And I would say Tumani Kamara, from what I've seen from him too, he's also shooting the 3 ball a lot better too. So he might be another bright spot as well. Speaking of very good contracts, another tidbit that I heard on a local broadcast tonight. Danny, here's my last trivia question of the night.
Mm-hmm.
There are a number of players this year who are shooting over 45% from the 3-point line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But only one of those players who's shooting over 45% from the 3-point line is actually attempting 6 per game. Who is that player? He played tonight.
Shooting 45 from 3, 6 per game. Let me look. I think I know who this is too. Well, I did know who it was.
Yeah, don't look at the answer. Like,
I'm
what?
looking at the teams. I'm looking at the teams of who I'm like, what teams played tonight and who did I miss?
Okay.
Or who? It's not in Toronto. It's not in Charlotte. Is it in Charlotte? Is it Charlotte? It might be. Is it Constantinople?
We're only doing one guess here.
All right, let me see. Let me go through who's 45? Who's 45? Jamal Murray.
No.
Damn,
Deuce
not Jamal.
McBride.
Bruh.
How
I was thinking
about
Sean
that?
Knuckle, Jamal Murray. I think Jamal was shooting 45 from 3, but I don't know if he's getting 6 attempts. But he was when I did a segment the other day. He was shooting 45 from 3. I was like, what the hell? But I don't know if he's getting 6 attempts. But Deuce
Deuce
McBride.
McBride. Again, one of the better contracts in the National Basketball Association. $4.3 million this year. Danny, next year, $3.9 million. What?
Yeah.
An absolute gem of a transaction, the deal by Leon Rose and company of the New York Knicks. And I wanted to bring up the New York Knicks because they finally got back on the board today. Yeah, I know George D559. I know, crazy. $4.3 million this year, $3.9 million next year. And the dude is shooting over 45% from 3 with over 6 3-point attempts per game. Absolutely a crazy value contract. He better stay. I don't. If they do that Giannis trade, I don't care. That roster, that contract is staying on the Knicks roster. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what the Bucks ask for. That's too good of a deal. That's too good of a deal. Like, Daddy, if you're Leon Rose, imagine Leon Rose and you're like the Bucks front office. They're like, yo, we got this Giannis deal done, but do X, Y, Z and X, Y, Z, and
but
the last will be but you got to throw in Deuce McBride.
Nope.
And Leon's like, nope, absolutely not.
That's kind of how it was.
You see what we're paying him?
With the James Harden thing, they just threw Seth in with it was Ben and Drummond got thrown in there. So it was Ben Simmons, Seth, and then Drummond and picks. I was like, damn. It was like, yeah, Drummond was last throwing. We're like, why the fuck y'all throw him in? Or Seth, why'd y'all?
Right.
Like, damn. We need another backup big, a rebounder. What the hell?
Yeah, you can't just be throwing. You can't just be throwing in. Can't just be throwing in anybody.
I think Doc was like, wait, I didn't know that. He's like, what drum? It's like, damn.
All right, yeah. So I wanted to talk about I brought up Deuce McBride because I wanted to talk about the New York Knicks real quick. They ended up getting a win tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers. Cat broke the 20-point barrier, I believe it was. He only had he struggled in the first half with the contact, but eventually he kind of blew up in that third quarter, and the Knicks overall played well. I'm trying to wave off the doubters, Danny, because a lot of people, they saw what happened with the Pistons.
He had a great game, though. 20-11-7, not just 20. He had 20-11-7.
I know Cat is not performing like how we're used to seeing Cat in terms of hitting a lot of threes, the pick and pop game. But I have to give Cat a lot of credit. And I mentioned this before. He's getting to the free throw line more than he ever had in his career. He's actually putting the ball on the ground and getting fouled and going to the line. Here's my two things. And Frantown, I see what you're saying, and I'm about to bring it up too. How they've looked without Josh Hart has been troubling. And I've said, and you and I have said this before, the Knicks' superpower is their offensive rebounding. When they can't offensive rebound, they're a very good team.
Very average team. They're normal. Yeah, they're a good team.
They're a normal good team. But when they get to offensive rebound with Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Karl Anthony Towns, they're a great team. And so missing Josh Hart shouldn't mean this much. But I also feel like this, Danny, and maybe this is the absence of Josh Hart. Shout out to the Enjoy B-Ball guys, because they looked into it and they found who passes the ball, what combos have the most assists in the NBA. Shockingly enough, the number one assist to score ratio, whatever that is, two-man ratio, is Nikola Jokic to Jamal Murray. Number 2 is Jamal Murray to Nikola Jokic. So the synergy is great. Yeah. And I watched the Knicks get smacked by the Pistons, and Jalen Brunson finished the game with 0 assists. And when Enjoy B-Ball did that top 5, Cat and Jalen Brunson weren't even on weren't
Yeah.
even in the top 5. And I complained about it during the playoffs last year. That connection, despite how potent they are, they both can hit the 3. They both can take it to the rack now. And Mike Brown was, obviously he's done some really good things, but it feels as if that connection still hasn't crystallized.
Yeah.
And it's so and when you know they're not going to be elite defensively, they're not. Like Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are not going to be elite individual defenders. When you're not going to be elite on that side, that combination, that's got to be A1.
Something on offense. They're not liability. They can be not targets or liabilities on defense, though. They can be solid, but they're not going to be, like you said. But offensively, that's where their superpower is supposed to be. And you guys have been together now this is the second year. You should have a better like feel for each other and like work together a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's fresh. I mean, I remember the days when the Knicks didn't have a Karl Anthony Towns, and I remember they had Brunson and Julius Randle was hurt, and Brunson was going crazy. And I'm like, this dude could absolutely score the ball. And shout out to him. He not only does he score, but he scores efficiently. He gets to the free throw line, which has helped him set up the defense. But it's just so frustrating to see Karl Anthony Towns have these days, these games where it's like he's not present. And I feel like that, as great as a scorer as Brunson is, it falls on him to get Cat right. Cat's not bringing the ball up the court. Am I wrong for thinking that, or is this just
no?
Okay,
wait till
they get Josh Hart, and
he's supposed to be a table setter. He's a point guard. He's supposed to realize, even though he's scoring point guard, there's still scoring point guards out there like Trae that'll find Capella. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna find his big. He's gonna find Porzingis. Like he's gonna get him a pick and pop. Like they gotta have a better synergy, and that's really on Brunson. But because he's so, and I think more of his vision is not say tunnel vision, but it's more on backdoor cuts from OG and Mikal Bridges. Like he's more, and his Villanova boys maybe. I don't know. Maybe because he has a better connection with the Villanova boys and somewhat OG. But yeah, it's got to be more of an emphasis. Like again, you see Lakers force feeding like DeAndre Ayton. Marcus Smart knows to get him the ball, like get him touches. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Brunson's got to know. Even Luka, like he knows we got to keep this guy engaged. You got to know who Cat is, and as a leader and as a point guard, that's really upon him to do so. To at least, not saying at least you should get at least 3 assists a game to that guy. He's not like he can't score. You should at least 3 assists a game to Karl Anthony Towns. I'd say the 1 pick and pop a game and 1 roll a game, and then like 1 drop off in the post or kick out for a 3 somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it's tough. I mean, Brunson's so damn efficient, and he can hit almost any. He gets enough space to get off.
Good at scoring. He's got to get the floor game.
He's goddamn so good at scoring, and I think what happens too. And I'm not a body language doctor, but Jalen Brunson is one of the best. I think he leads the NBA in scoring in the first quarter. He averages 11 points per game, and I contrast that, Danny, with somebody like Cade Cunningham. And I watch a lot of Cade Cunningham mainly because I bet on Cade Cunningham. And we talked about this before. Cade Cunningham, it's like he won't even look at the basket in the first quarter sometimes. He's too busy. He's the first play of the game is usually him waiting for Duncan Robinson to come off 2 down screens for a 3. Second play, he's waiting for Jalen Duren to roll to the basket. Third play, he's trying to get a backdoor cut to Oscar Thompson. So Cade Cunningham have 3 assists before he takes a field goal attempt. Yeah. And it's just the mindset is different.
He knows that the scout report is to stop him, even though they both can still score. Like that's even harder to do, is to do what you do while knowing the other teams know what you do. But knowing that, it's like, all right, he's keeping the defense honest. Now they're like, damn, he's just passing the ball. Like now he's lulling him to sleep. Oh shit, now he's scoring. Damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's gonna score either way. But he's keeping the defense honest. And now when he's looking at score mode, as you see, he'll pick a ball fake. Jalen Brunson's running out to the 3-point line, and now he's got a lob back. You know what I'm saying? Like he's picking the defense apart by keeping them honest. If you're shooting and scoring every time, it's a lot easier for guys to shrink the floor, guard to, and double you, and you're only passing it because you have to. And by the time you get it there, it's always a second and a half late, and he's out of rhythm, and somebody can close out to him. So yeah, it's a part of figuring the game. I said I never was the guy, so it's easy for me to speak it without knowing it. But what I've seen anyway is like guys that have played in that position or been the guy has knows when the IQ is no one to like get certain guys involved, and that helps the balance of the team.
it's a little bit frustrating for me as a Knicks fan because again, I've already put a cap on how good the defense could be. I just know what it is. For us not to be great offensively at times, to have these lulls and to get caught up in the Brunson. We've been caught up in the Brunson ball before, and he's great. I love Jalen Brunson, but we've been caught up in it before. Multiple playoff runs, Jalen Brunson has played fantastic.
Yeah.
But we don't have to have. When I was watching that Pistons game, I was like, yo, what is going on? Like this ball, this is not, I didn't think this was supposed to be the Mike Brown. Mike Brown was supposed to be about this life.
No, it's not his system. It's not how he operates. Well, no, we didn't think anyway. So
yeah, for sure. All right, but okay. But with that being said, though, Danny, again, it's the dull drums of the basketball season. The Knicks won tonight, so I could do a little woosah. And I'm back on it, Danny.
There you go.
Knicks are winning. The Knicks are winning the East. They're going to the NBA Finals. All the faults with the offense and defense be damned. But I ask you, Danny, the Knicks or the field in the East?
It's still the Knicks right now. The field has not proven to me, even with the Trae Young trade, there's nothing that's shaken up like, oh, they for sure have gotten better. And again, I would say Detroit has a good shot, but you know how I feel about in the playoffs when it comes down to coaching. I just don't know once you go further in the playoffs if they're going to be ready for that. And also they can handle the Knicks. Cade, they have the talent, they have the pieces, but is Mike Brown going to get outcoached by JB? I don't know if I see that happening. I just think Mike Brown has a little bit more experience in that regard. And everybody else is really far behind. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Boston is pretty good. It's solid. Joe Mazzulla's got respect, but they just don't have enough to beat those groups, I think, in a playoff series. And Boston could maybe get Detroit, but I don't think they can get the Knicks in a playoff series. They don't have enough pieces.
I'll be curious to see what Detroit does. It's clear to me that they need a number two. Like another guy who can score off the bounce. What will they do about that? We shall see. I see you, Frantown, talking about the Magic.
Got to see them back with Franz. Right now, they're looking disappointing. Paolo's got to do a little bit. He's got to become more forceful in the winning stocks because right now he's just not looking like he's the leader of that group right now. Like they were winning some games when he was out. Now that he's back, Franz is out. It's flipped. They don't look the same.
Danny. So to start the year, remember we did your top 10. You put Paolo Banchero in your top 10. One of the few bad takes you actually had in the preseason. A lot of your takes actually have panned out, like Cade Cunningham for Clutch Player of the Year. That looks almost, obviously we got a long season to go, but he looks like their early favorite for sure. But you have Paolo Banchero in your number 10. And I'm starting to wonder, let's throw the contract out the window. Does Paolo Banchero have the skill set of a number one? When I watch Franz Wagner, I'm like, he could take people off the bounce. He could assist. And neither
Paolo
of them are
showed
great
that
shooters.
in the past. He showed in the past because he shot it better from mid-range and he shot a little bit from three, but he also showed some moves. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't look like the same guy from last year. But yeah, if he's not making a mid-range shoot, like I think Franz is a step ahead right now. But yeah, that definitely was a take where I said I thought he was good and was growing and going to take that next step. And Orlando was going to be one of the top teams in the East, like top 4 team, top 3 team. They're not, and it's not because of him. Yeah, that was to put him in the top 10 was a tough one to put him up there. Right now, it's looking bad. Everybody else looks pretty solid though. Everybody else looks pretty solid.
It's good. It's going to be very interesting.
Remember, I had Cade at what? I had Cade at 6, right? Did I have Cade at 6?
No. Everything you had was pretty. It wasn't bad at all. You didn't. They weren't bad, but just the Banchero one is not.
Yeah, that one's not panning out good.
He's shooting 26% from the 3-point line this year. What is his effective shooting percentage? I can get on to, I don't want to do all of these numbers right now. I can do it maybe for the next show. But yeah, it's gonna, Danny, what happens, bro, if they say, yo, Franz is the number one now?
Paolo's gonna have to fall in line, bro. Or like I said, or he's gonna be. I don't know whose agency
have you ever seen that before? Like
it's happened just by nature.
Two dudes, same age. And one was the number one. And then they were like, you know what? You're still a good player. You're still going to get paid. But like your skills aren't as developed as they need to be the true number one of this team.
It takes each year is different year to year. Some guys are having better years than others. Like one year, Manu might have it going. It's like there was years Manu made the All-Star team and Tony didn't. There's years, I said, when Jason Tatum comes back, it might happen in Boston. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it just happens.
But that I guess so. It
happens, bro.
It's weird to see a player get worse when they're this young.
For sure. And I wouldn't necessarily get worse. He just has that. He's not looking. He doesn't.
Okay, maybe he just hasn't. He hasn't taken the leap that maybe a lot of us would have thought he
hasn't taken. Hasn't shown his past potential like we've seen, and like we haven't seen it this year. But again, we've seen pecking orders change throughout a season, like throughout a year, throughout a season. Even though Kawhi and Clippers, like James, some nights have like Kawhi and Clippers, or even when Norm was there, Norm was playing. He jumped ahead of whoever the hell else what they had there. That was like the third option.
Yeah, but that was him coming in. They brought him in to be that. I'm talking about like two franchise guys, and it was like Paolo, then Franz. Like that's what it was just seen like, at least to the public. And I think I think Franz is a better basketball player right now. And Franz hasn't played in a while, but like when I saw them both this year, Franz was way better. And while Franz has been gone, Paolo hasn't done anything to make me feel differently.
I'm trying to think of other examples for you. Like
Anthony Black has been more impressive to me.
Anthony Black has been balling, bro. But like I'm trying to think like Clippers, like when Chris Paul and Blake, like, you know, whose team is it? Go back and, you know what I'm saying? Like even John Jordan had a good year when he could have been an all-star.
See, again, different timelines. These are two dudes, same timeline, same age range, same franchises. Nobody came in the offseason. Like, no, like these are. We
might see it in multiple positions. We might see it in Boston. We could see it in San Antonio. Like Dylan Harper is yet to develop.
That's going to be an interesting one. What happens when Dylan Harper? What happens if he becomes better than De'Aaron Fox?
Or Castle? What if Dylan Harper 1 year apart?
What? Yeah, that's I don't want to get it. That's going too down. It's going too down. It's going too far down a rabbit hole.
You're saying same age, same timeline. That's why I said it. They're 1 year apart, and you know what I'm saying. That's what I was looking at. That's why I put that there. But I'm trying to think of. There's not many teams that had back-to-back draft picks of guys in the same. You know what I'm saying? Same realm, same position. That was just like. All right, my turn. Yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to think of who's had worse teams that had top picks and was like Bradley Beal, John Wall. Like 1 year's John's team.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like,
Bradley Beal.
Yeah. Brad. Like, like it happens, bro. It's year to year. It's year to year. Whoever's having a good year. Some years you're gonna have bad year. It's hard to have just like a straight good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always gonna be a year where you're gonna have what's the name? Like even a shooting year
flows.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All right. We're almost out of here. What else do we want to get into? Oh yeah. We can't finish the show without doing a top five. So we're going to do a top five. I think we covered everything else, Danny. We'll do our top. We'll do your top five, and then we'll get up out of here. Top five MVP choices.
We want to go 5-1. Let's go 1-5. I'm gonna go 1-5.
Go 5. Nah, go 5-1, dog. You gotta build up the drama.
Yeah. Let me see. We'll go at number 5. I'm gonna go Jalen Brunson. We'll put him up in that conversation. Knicks are playing well. They did drop from 2 to 3, but he's leading that team. They should be the clear favorite in the East, and it's because of him and what he's done night in, night out. He was Eastern Conference Player of the Month, which he probably shouldn't have been.
It's true.
But he was.
They won the NBA Cup. He led them.
They won the NBA Cup. Number 4, I'm gonna go Luka Doncic. He's just doing what he's doing, and even on bad nights, getting 34, getting 35, leading the league in scoring. Lakers, even though they lost, they're still a number 3 seed, number 4 seed in the West. All the games are separated by a game and a half, though, in the West, 2 through 6. But I think they're number 3 or 4, so I'll put him at 4. Honestly, I could go Jalen Brunson at 4, but I just don't want to put him that high because Knicks, they're good, but they're still a 3 seed, and they should be higher.
Lakers are 4th seed right now. They're tied with the Timberwolves at both 6.5 games behind the Thunder. Yeah, but you're right. When it comes down to Luka, man, you would as I said, you called some things before the season started. You were right. I was like, how is Luka gonna lead the NBA in scoring when he's playing with LeBron and Austin Reeves?
41 years old. That man not playing back-to-backs. He took a month off in the season. Like, bro, what? Kidding me?
It's still,
no matter
who
he's playing with, it don't matter who's on the floor. He's having that ball and he's gonna score.
But the thing is, even when he's out there with them, what I found so wild when they played against the Pelicans last night, I was watching the game. Pelicans, I think James Borrego, the head coach over there, James Borrego, they were sending double teams at him to get the ball out of his hands. It ain't matter, 30 ball. Like, yo, like what?
Yeah. It don't matter, bro.
And they were,
no matter who's on the floor, offense on his team or defense, he's going to get 30, 35. So it don't matter.
Herb Jones was his primary defender. Herb Jones is a good defender. They were sending double teams at him, and it did not matter. He was still going to get that 30 piece. Whether he had to shoot a couple grenades or not and make them, he going to get that 30.
Number 3, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown. And honestly, at 5, I wanted to put Cade, but I would have felt like people, you hating on the Knicks. So 5, I think Jaylen deserves it, but I'm an honorable mention, Cade Cunningham. He could be in the top 5 MVP conversation. Might be at number 5, but number 3, Jaylen Brown. Number 2 in the East, nobody expected this. He doesn't have the pieces that the Knicks have or Detroit has, and he's 30 a game. Should have been Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Best two-way player in the game right now, as he said it himself. I mean, he's more consistent. People might say Wembanyama, but he's more consistent offensively than Wemby, and he's also playing and taking on challenge defensively. But Boston is just balling. So shout out to Joe Mazzulla. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. They got them at the number 2 seed in the East. He deserves some flowers. So he is number 3 for me. And then the top 2, it's pretty easy. The top 2.
What's that before you go to the top 2? Would you rather give Jaylen Brown first team All NBA or Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year? You can only do one.
I mean, I feel like he's been snubbed too many times in his life, bro. The Olympics, shoot.
The man won Finals MVP. He won Finals MVP.
He won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. I mean, he deserves all NBA. Like, he deserves first team All NBA. Joe Mazzulla could probably get it another year. So there's other coaches out there that are playing, that are doing some decent things. But Joe definitely deserves Coach of the Year. But I'll give it to him.
So
unless he didn't make it over somebody like Cade Cunningham. If it's Cade Cunningham over him, then I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
Would you rather give Jaylen Brown MVP or Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year? I feel like they got to get one.
Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year. Yeah. Number 2, you know why? Because there's nobody beating these top 2 guys. Number 2 is Nikola Jokic, and only it's because he's been out. He's been injured and hurt some, but his numbers are unbelievable, getting better every year. And then number 1, SGA. Like, these 2 guys at the top of the heap, there's nobody catching them. OKC is the best team in the league. SGA is leading them, even though they're struggling. They're still the number 1 team in the league. Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets, they're balling, but his numbers are unbelievable. He's not only scoring, assisting, and rebounding, but he's shooting high clip from 3 at 42, 43%. Bruh, you can't deny this guy's talents. So both those guys at 1 and 2. SJ 1, Jokic number 2, and that's because Denver's just behind him. Jaylen Brown number 3. Number 4, I'm going Luka Doncic. And at 5, I'm going to just say, actually, I'm going to say Cade Cunningham. Jalen Brunson, honorable mention. Cade Cunningham, number 5. Jalen Brunson, honorable mention number 6. But Cade deserves
Thank
to be
you.
in that conversation.
Yeah. I'm tempted to put Cade number 3, bro.
He's
I'm
high.
tempted to
He
put
could be in
Cade
front of
number 3,
Luka.
yeah.
He could be number 4 and Luka at 5. So put Luka 5, Cade number 4. Like, he deserves to be up there.
Yeah.
Cade 4, Luka 5.
Now, and shout out to the chat for pointing this out. And you and I did a pod the day after, or the morning before we heard the news about how long Jokic would be out. There's a good chance, Danny, he's going to miss that 65 game requirement in order to be classified for MVP. Is that nonsense or what?
It is. It's very much nonsense. You should give him a grace period. Like, there should be an exception. I don't know how many games he's going to end up missing. But yeah, he should definitely get. There should be some exceptions, and he should be an exception for that.
I wonder
rule.
If, like, on the ballot,
it's not that he's still going to win, because OKC is the best team. SGA is the best player in the best team. So, but it shouldn't exclude him automatically. He should still be able to get votes and be in the conversation. But yeah, he should be an exception.
I feel like, here's the issue with it. When we look back 20 years from now, and Nikola Jokic wasn't even top 5 votes in MVP.
Yeah.
And I feel like what?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
How is that possible? And we're like, oh, he didn't make the criteria.
Yeah, I think they're gonna, like, what if his 64 games is better than anybody else's 80?
He should get a grace period of 5 games. It should be 60 for him.
I feel like
he had a real injury.
How about this? If you're a former MVP, you should get an extra 5 games. Because you've already shown that you can play at MVP level. Mm-hmm. If you've been an MVP within the last 5 years, or if you went to the finals in the past 5 years, because that means you played extended games, you get an extra 5.
There you go.
You don't gotta. You play 60 instead.
I like that rule. I'm cool with that.
Because it's not, again, he's obviously one of the best, if not the best player in the world, one of the best players in the world. You're just like, yo,
he's got to be.
He's already won MVP. He gets a grace, and you can just put extra grace rules for, like, players.
Well, asterisk. Yeah.
Either way, again, you have to do it for everybody.
Because he missed the games, I don't think he doesn't like it. It also goes into the voting. He'll get votes, but he won't win. He's not on the best team, and he's missed more games than Shea. So, like, Shea is gonna win the MVP, but he should still allowed to be top 5 in voting.
I watched the Thunder tonight barely pass the Jazz. Jazz are playing too good. They need to stop messing around. They need to stop mess around and lose that draft pick. I felt weird for saying this. They need to sit Shea, bro. And it sounds crazy to say after he dropped a 40 ball tonight.
Yeah, 46.
But, like, he was questionable going into the game. I was watching the injury report. You already know I'm looking at every injury report. And I'm like, oh, he's questionable tonight. And I said to myself, I was like, oh, good. I was like, good for him. Take the night off.
Yeah.
and then I look at halftime, I'm like, oh, he's playing? Damn.
Nah, he ain't messing around, bro. He ain't messing around. He don't care. He wants it all, bro. He wants to win everything, play everything, not miss games, professional score, all records, everything. So, yeah, good for him, bro. He's not satisfied. Different type of hunger. But yeah, man.
All right, y'all.
With that being said, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Yeah, we got to get up out of here.
Yeah. Do the
y'all know what to do.
Like, one more time.
Subscribe, review.
One more time. Your last big thought on Drew. That's the story of the night. Trae Young going to the Wizards. Your last big thought. You got the Hawks as the biggest loser.
Yes, Trae is the biggest winner, and I see actually Washington kind of turning around and being better. Like, they're gonna be a solid team. Maybe not this year, but next year, I feel like they're gonna have a solid group, and they're gonna be winnable games. They're gonna be like the Portland of the East.
Yeah, they got some money.
Yeah.
They got some money, and they got Trae Young. He's not all that bad.
Bro, what? That's crazy. Crazy.
He's not all that bad. I know he's been getting some negative publicity, negative PR, and I'm a Knicks fan. I want to hate Trae Young.
Crazy. That boy's a menace.
If you traded for Trae, if you traded away Trae Young, and you didn't get any young pieces or any draft capital, that feels like a loss.
Yeah.
Any way you cut it. Whether that's because if you couldn't sell him to get that value back, that's also on you as a franchise. How did somebody so valuable? How did he depreciate in value so much? How?
They
on
walked up, no gun, no mask, and said, "Put it in the bag." I want it all in the bag. Took a picture and walked home. Robbed the bank clean with no weapons. And you let him.
Damn shame. All right. Well, again, we'll see. What the trading deadline is still February 4th, February 5th, so Hawks can make up for it. But as of right now, as it pertains to the inside, the
it doesn't look good.
Opinion column, Hawks missed the ball on this one. And I'm not saying they should have given Trae Young a max contract. No, I don't think anybody's saying that. But damn, not even a second round. That's
Come on,
crazy.
Man.
What are we doing?
Y'all know.
All right, we got to get up out of here.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.
We'll try and come back next week, and we'll do another gamer just like this after whatever big game is happening next week, either Monday or Wednesday. Stay tapped in.
Word. Peace.